around this time of year, especially after Christmas, and that is shopping, as you can tell by the title. I've kind of wanted to address this random topic for quite some time, but I guess I didn't get around to it because I kept forgetting that, oh, this is a topic that I can actually talk about. Because it's really a big part of people's lives. I mean, you have to go shopping at some point. I mean, you have to go and buy food, you have to go and buy clothes, you have to go and purchase things because we are all consumers. Um, Now, the way people treat shopping is obviously different, and people treat shopping in is. I do like the um, whole sort of exploration kind of thing. I like looking for deals. I like sort of window shopping or exploring certain things that I find to be interesting or of maybe good quality or of good price. Best is when you can find both. Um, and it's an overall, I think, satisfying experience, at least for me. But I can understand if shopping can get very annoying at times. And there are things that do annoy me about shopping. Um, and I kind of want to go over the things that sort of bother me, and um, also the things that I still kind of feel like I get out of when I go around and purchase things. So, a huge part of me that is deterred from shopping is the fact that there's a lot of overpriced items, especially for women. Um, Men, I don't think so much, unless you're counting suits, which I know can run pretty expensive. But when you look at the large scheme of things, when it comes to shopping, if you exclude shopping for a car, shopping for a house, um, which again, you could argue too that there's a lot of overpricing there in those areas, but I'm more specifically speaking with, um, certain items that are more for either not necessarily food, but things that you would see at a mall. Usually are the things that I'm discussing here as to being overpriced, and I think the reason for that is plain and simple with demographics. When you look at the way women purchase things, men are usually a lot cheaper. They won't go all out for some shirts, but women will spend more. And personally, for me, I find that annoying because, one, I don't like to overspend. I think overspending is really bad, especially when you can get the prices for pretty much around. I mean, some stores try to argue the fact that we have better quality clothing, but to be honest, I feel like a lot of it's really the same. It doesn't seem like that the type of clothes or the type of jewelry or anything is really all that different. They're pretty much all the same, except sometimes one store will be completely overpriced for what they offer. And I've noticed this throughout probably my entire life that there has been excessive amounts of overpricing on things where I know I can find it a lot cheaper. You know, from jeans to shirts to any kind of clothing, jewelry, maybe even some kitchen items. Again, you have those one big name brands and they try to overprice it when you can get pretty much the same amount and probably quality at another place. So it's items like those that I think really try to push it. And I think largely in part it's the women's demographic kind of items. When you look at the large scheme of things, the demographic items that are for the most part are for women are usually a really overpriced amount, and they know their demographic. They know that women will spend more. You know why? Because usually women control the finances. So again, you know, there's just a lot of that going on, and I don't see the point in going out and spending so much money on things that maybe aren't really all that necessary, and um, can be bought at a lot cheaper price. So yeah, that's a huge problem, and something that really deters me from ever going really to the mall is just the fact that there's just so much stuff that's just unbelievably insanely priced for what it is. Another thing that's kind of a pet peeve, I mean, it's not like it's a huge extended thing, um, but I've noticed that malls have actually become a lot popular, I think, than they actually used to be. Now, I could be wrong on this, but I feel like that there's a lot more um, of a demand for malls because it's really a social gathering for people. You know, there's restaurants now within malls, so people will go shopping, I think, a little bit more often for different reasons. And as a result, we have long lines to, and again, this is not just talking just the shopping from purely a shopping standpoint. It's the restaurants, it's the um, you know, just to go in line to get a Starbucks is already unbelievably long. You know, it's really based within the sort of, you know, uh, understanding that the mall has, which is to get as much people as it can to that mall. But when you see all of these long lines in every single place, you almost want to go, no, thank you. But the interesting thing too is some areas are very popular at one portion of the mall, like certain restaurants, and then you'll go to another restaurant and it's completely dead. Like nobody wants to go to this restaurant, which I don't understand because, again, the restaurants are pretty much the same at the mall. They don't, you know, you're not really getting a whole lot of difference by going to one particular restaurant over another. Usually they offer the same things. Usually it's probably around the same quality and price. You know, it's not like you're getting a better um, sort of deal. I mean, it's really bizarre. But that's kind of how it is. There's just a lot of waiting, a lot of people just jam packed into lines. Even just to find parking, you know, there's like a line of cars to, you know, that are like right in front of you to try to find a place to park. You know, it's just very hectic, especially I think around the holiday season, probably summertime too, more of the time when the younger demographics are out and available is usually when the malls are a lot more crowded and a lot more jam-packed. Now, um, there are a lot of other things within the mall that I don't understand, especially a lot of these kinds of alternative stores. Uh, Again, they offer pretty much the same kind of standard clothes, except sometimes you wonder why somebody would even purchase this item. Like, there's just some items out there that are just so funky and just, you know, they just don't have, they're just, I guess I just have a certain taste, and the whole entire other world has a different taste, but there's just a lot of things that I find at the mall that are just it to me it's just not it's I just don't see how anybody would want to buy it. It just doesn't look nice. It doesn't it either has a very funky design, or its colors are not that appealing, or there's just something about the way it looks, or the way it fits, or just their color choices. and how they mix things together sometimes with different colors. It's just, and this is kind of, again, kind of sort of across the board. This is not just clothes, but um, jewelry and like, again, maybe more kitchen items. A lot of it is really, it's just bizarre looking. It almost seems like there's nothing that looks normal anymore. It's like we just need to go as out there as we can so that it will get people to purchase it. And to me, it's just a big deter, because I just look at it and go, who would buy this? I don't understand. Like, why? It just, there's just something about the way, certain clothes look nowadays. There's just a certain, and again, since we have all these kinds of different, demographics of people who like different styles, it just feels like one big mess. And it's like the stores are telling you to, oh, if you're this kind of person, go here. And to me, I don't like to really identify myself as a demographic. I like to identify myself as a human being. So, those kinds of things, I think, really do deter me from purchasing anything um, that I find just too out there. And a lot of the time, I think it's usually at the more expensive places, actually, that you will find the more bizarre and strange items that you go, why would somebody want this? I don't understand. So that's, I think, a thing that really deters me, especially when they're trying to claim that it's something special when it's really not. I mean, you look at something and go, yeah, I could find this at a department store. Um, and it's pretty much the same style, the same, just the same horrible color choices. It's all it just feels very it just feels odd. It feels strange. I can't find myself enjoying it. So, uh, and again, I think that sort of hints into too why I don't like the overpriced items, because I don't think that they're offering anything more special. Um, so it's a real big deter for me. And there's another thing too that I think can really annoy my male counterparts of the human species, and that is the long time that women take to go around the mall and to debate on what they're not gonna get or get. And I can understand. I have women friends who go crazy. One of my women friends, she brought her dog with her to the mall, and so I had to babysit that dog at the mall. So I understand. The waiting, the not really feeling like you belong there. The awkwardness. I understand. It's not fun being at the mall for a huge excessive amount of time. I think meandering, if, and again, a lot of it that I don't think my male counterparts of the human species understand is that um, for shopping for women, it's like a social gathering. You get together with a bunch of women and you go talk, and so most of the time you're probably just talking to one another or just looking through different things, depending, I guess, on who you go with. But it's designed to be a social thing. So it's like you and your guys going and sitting down and playing video games for, I don't know, 6 hours or something. It's the same thing, It's that same social um uh kind of gathering thing where you go and you do it for a significant amount of time. And I understand that. Sometimes it annoys me too, because I feel like it's too long, and I get kind of just bored of just going through the whole process and waiting for other people, and It's tiresome, especially when you don't find anything. You spend your whole time like trying to look for something and there's just nothing there. I think that's another big problem that I have with shopping. It's just like I'm looking for something, but then I don't find anything of what I'm looking for, and I get really mad. I go, why isn't anything here that I could like? I don't understand it. And I think that partially has to do with the fact that, I think a lot of the items that people are offering now are not as good, classy, they're just not of quality, to me. So again, it's one of those things where it's nice for a while, but too much can be, a pain. And I wonder too if there's some guys out there who, they've played video games for what, 4 hours straight, and they go, okay, I want to go outside now. I want to do something else. It's just kind of that excessive staying there for a long time that I know can get irksome and not fun. At least for me personally. It's that kind of thinking. I understand. I understand why men would be irritated going through all of these different places. But I understand that the female point of view, it's about just getting together and having fun and not feeling rushed. But at the same time, I think the best way to put it is if you go to the mall with a male, just all you females out there, just window shop, just go and like laugh at all the crazy things people are buying, and just have a good time talking with one another, and don't bother trying to shop together. There's no point. Men are in and out. Women want to take their time a little bit more, and I think for men it's a lot easier to find what they need. And for women, it's a lot more difficult because we want to try it on. We want to see if certain things fit us. We like, kind of the spontaneous, I think, searching, more so, I think, than men. Like, we like to, if we see something that we like, it's like, we should try it. We should, But with men, it's not like they'll look at something and go, I should really purchase that now. I think it's more of, it's you go in for different reasons. Men go to get in and get what they need and out. Women go for the experience, for the socializing, for the ability to take their time, and it's really, I think, for me personally, it's like a stress reliever. When I go shopping, even if I don't purchase anything, again, I feel a little less stressed. I don't feel rushed or pressured. I can just go walk around for a little while, see what they have, and then get in my car and go. It's that idea is I go around and search a little bit. It's like a whole exploration kind of thing. It's like a video game for boys. They search around, they maybe find something, they get to a certain level and they're happy. Okay, all right, I accomplished my job. It's the same thing. It's just different different ways of of spending your time, I guess you could say. So it's that kind of a thing that I think shopping really offers. It's for me personally, it's an experience. Sometimes it can be a bothersome experience. Sometimes it can be satisfying. Sometimes it can be very unsatisfying, especially if I don't find anything that I think is worthy to even be on the shelves of stores. I understand that there's a lot of good aspects, I think, to shopping. Especially if I think as long as you don't take it into the extreme and, spend away and, get into debt and, just as long as you're reasonable and you don't take too long, then you're good. But, and, and if you do take a long time, just go by yourself, which is sometimes what I like to do. I'll just go by myself and just look around, and then I don't feel like there's nobody over my shoulder. Don't need to worry about, time. I can just go enjoy the end. So that's really how I sort of can summarize shopping for people in the 21st century. Now, you might be saying, is shopping pretty much dead? Well, at least, sort of the retail shopping and the online shopping taking over. Yeah, I can see that happening, especially for men, because that's probably a lot easier than, getting gas and going down to the store. Um, but I think it's harder to really get a feel for a product unless you do purchase it. And then once you get it and you're not satisfied, and then you have to exchange it and wait for the shipping person to come back, and then you have to go and try to look for something else, it's that part I think annoys me. So that's why I like to just go and see stuff in person and purchase it rather than purchasing it over on the internet. Another thing too is I don't trust the internet a lot of the time. I don't trust them with my credit card or debit card or any of that information. I don't trust um, that kind of sphere, especially with all of the recent hacks that have been happening. I just don't trust it. So I'm not gonna bother with trying to do anything involving that, because I just think it's just a hassle for more than it's worth. But I do understand why it has become very convenient for people to just buy stuff online. But for me, I still enjoy just shopping and going to the mall, and I'll probably continue going to the mall. It's just not gonna be, something that, ooh, I'm gonna do every weekend or, every single day or something like that. But I think once in a while it's enjoyable. It's just sometimes there's just a little bit of annoyances here and there, but I kind of just take it with a grain of salt and just go in and get what I need and enjoy myself. That's really the whole experience. But I think that's really ultimately all I can really say when it comes to this topic in particular. I think it it's both a positive and a negative experience. I think shopping at the same time, at least for me. But I think it's very interesting to hear from different people's point of views and see what they enjoy and what they don't enjoy about it. But I'm kind of not in the hate or the love camp of shopping. I'm just like, yay, shopping, okay, let's go. Just as long as it's not too long and I'm not and I'm satisfied, then I'm happy. But sometimes it's not always that way, but you kind of, again, just take it for what it is. But yeah, if there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.